Hello everyone and welcome to another Rainbow Six ESL video, and if you watched our last one, we covered the story of the Challenger League player Drip, who has been counting how many days it's been since he won Season 9 Challenger League and how many days he has gone without pay for that win. This time around, it's a bit different though, because we've got some information from an insider source, someone who's actually involved in the Rainbow Six Pro League scene, along with screenshots of the Pro League Discord that gives us a bit more insight as to why Drip hasn't been paid, along with some more information because we know that some other teams and other players have not been paid as well. There are still people out there who have not been paid for Season 9 wins, all the way dating back to Season 7, which I will get into. But sit down and buckle up, boys, because we have a lot of screenshots to look through. I think we have maybe 9 or 10, so let's get into it. So back in May of this year, May 9th to be exact, Ubisoft announced an update to the 2019 prize pool because they'd gained enough revenue from selling Pro League items and from selling collection packs from the Road to the Six Invitational. The max amount they would increase the prize pool by was $2 million, which they did actually successfully reach through those two programs that I mentioned, plus Ubisoft's base contribution of $500,000, and they had some surplus money too. I think it was a bit over $1 million, $1,069,000 I believe it was, which was supposed to go towards their other esports programs. Intero detailed what the changes were in a tweet where he says the Pro League prize pool has increased from $275,000 to $626,000, and Challenger League went from $15,000 to $73,500, while minors would go from $50,000 to $75,000, and majors would go from $350,000 to $500,000. So clearly they gained a lot of money, and these are some huge differences, with Pro League more than doubling its prize pool and Challenger Leagues almost getting multiplied by 5. So obviously that is a massive increase because Rainbow Six started out as a smaller esport, of course, and as it grew bigger and bigger, they realized they were able to pay teams and orgs more, which I think realistically it was probably pretty important for the longevity of the esport, because if the prize pool were to stay as small as it was, I don't think people would be sticking around for much longer. But despite those prize pool increases, and keep in mind that was supposed to be 6 months ago that those were supposed to be put into effect, Drip and many other players have still not been receiving that extra additional prize money. This is where those screenshots come in though, so let's look at those. A quick disclaimer though, in that I would like to inform you guys that everything you'll be seeing in these screenshots are confirmed players, casters, or ESL staff, and we've hidden their information in order to protect them in case they wanted to stay anonymous, but we've generalized who they are in the pictures, so you should still be able to tell which person belongs to which party. But it's no doubt going to get very convoluted, so just try to stick with me, but I will be kind of recapping it near the end, and I'll probably butt in near the middle of it to just kind of keep you guys on track. But let's get into it. First screenshot. Okay, so where it says player 1, that's of course a player for a team, and where it says admin 1 and 2, those are ESL representatives. So on August 23rd, 2019, and all this is happening during 2019, just so you know, player 1 asked for an update on the money they were supposed to get from the Six Invitational, and ESL admin 1 says he heard it was paid this week, but he'll try to get payment confirmation on Monday if they need it. So player 1 agrees and asks for confirmation. Skip forward 2 days later, so it's August 25th, and player 1 still hasn't gotten a reply. So ESL admin 2 says it's not easy for the finance department to get a confirmation, so it's not going to be done in one day. Player 2 then asks if anyone else only received partial payment for the Invitational, as they haven't been paid in full, and admin 1 tells him to PM him. Player 3 asks if they have an estimation about the Season 9 extra prize money, and admin 1 tells them that they should be getting that money near the end of October. Second screenshot now, and this is taking place on August 26, 2019, but player 3 asks if they know the amount they're supposed to be getting, and ESL admin says the amounts are relatively final, but there's small changes to what was planned, so they're going to wait until the contract is signed with the final amount before they announce anything. Player 5 asks about his team's payment because they got partial payment, but they're missing the majority of it. Admin 1 says he's happy that they finally got the base payment, and he says he got info that the rest of it was sent on that day. Player 5 says it's progress, but they're still missing 75% of the money that they're owed. So this is where I'm going to cut in just to recap what we've seen so far, and it might seem like a lot, but the things to note here are that some players have still not received their money from the Six Invitational, and ESL admin says that they are still waiting on a contract between Ubisoft and ESL to be signed to get those players that extra prize money, and they should be expecting their Season 9 prize money by the end of October. Keep in mind the dates though, that this was happening August 23rd to August 26th. Then comes October 3rd, and player 6 points out the ESL prize money rule, which states that prize money should be paid 30 days after the season is over, but it could take as long as 90 days. And at this point, it's been way over 90 days. Player 1 chimes in because his team still hasn't received the money either, and Player 5 reminds them that the admin said it should be paid out in mid-October. A day later on October 4th, admin says that they're still waiting for the contract between Ubisoft and ESL to be signed because they can't pay them without it. Player 6 says, "Contract?" As in signing a new one with Ubi? What does this have anything to do with money owed on the current contract? And Admin 2 says it's not the current contract, it's a separate one for the additional prize money. So both Player 6 and Player 8 say that they haven't even been paid the base amount yet. Then we skip forward to October 25th, so several weeks ahead now, and Player 3 is still asking for an update on the prize money. No one replies. Now it's October 31st, and Player 1 is asking again the same thing, and Player 4 says they should have gotten an email with prize pool info on it. Player 1 then confirms the next day that they still haven't received the email. However, Player 14 says he did receive the email, and he says Player 1's point of contact should have got it. Player 1 says nope, nobody on the team or org got the email. Admin 5 says the email was sent, and yet again, Player 1 says he hasn't received it. Thankfully though, Player 5 got it as it was in his junk mail. So again, recap. They were told that they should be paid in mid-October, then weeks pass, and for many players, this money is still nowhere to be found. They were waiting for a contract to be signed between Ubisoft and ESL, which is absolutely ridiculous to me considering you think they would have that contract finalized before they even announce a prize pool update, because they're just getting a bunch of players' hopes up when there's nothing that's actually confirmed. But let's get back to the screenshots. The date is now November 14th, so quite a ways ahead of the last screenshot, and Player 6 again is still asking for Season 9 money. He asks if Raleigh money should be coming in soon, and Player 15 says they got the money from Raleigh as well as Season 9 Part 2, which I'm assuming that means that they got more of the extra money from Season 9. And Player 6 asks if they got all the money for Raleigh. They say no, they've only received 25,000 out of 40,000 of it, so still a huge chunk missing, and Player 16 says he still hasn't received anything. ESL admins say that both Raleigh and the Season 9 additional money will be sent out this month, and Season 10 money comes in December. Player 17 asks if anything extra needs to be done from their side for the remainder of the Season 9 prize money, and ESL admin says no. Then a player says that he's still waiting for prize money from Season 7 after sending in several request tickets to get that money, and Season 7 finals were all the way back in May of 2018, so that's almost a year and a half ago. That was kind of a lot of information to digest, but I didn't want to hold anything back from you guys. I wanted to share with you guys just about everything that was shared with us, so thank you for sticking with me through all that. But let's just do one final recap for the whole thing to make this easier. Players didn't receive all the money from the 6 Invitational, and after ESL didn't follow through with paying players in a 30 to 90 days window, they pushed back the pay dates to October, to which they were still not paid. There's a contract that needs to be signed between Ubisoft and ESL, which is stupid to me. They should have had that contract finalized already. And then comes November, and some people have been paid, but a lot still haven't, and one guy claims he still hasn't been paid for Season 7. So it isn't just Drip who hasn't been getting paid, guys. It's a lot of people, and whether this is more so ESL's fault or Ubisoft's fault, I don't really know, but regardless, they need to get their crap together because this is making the Rainbow Six esports scene look like a joke when you've got players dedicating thousands upon thousands of hours of their lives, some of them doing this as full-time jobs to try to get better and to win. And even if they do win, it doesn't really matter because they're not guaranteed that they're going to be getting the money from that win anyway. It's starting to sound like it's a matter of if they're going to get paid rather than when. Though I trust Ubisoft and ESL will pull together and work something out to eventually get these players paid, it's still taking way too long. That is all for this video though, guys. It was a long one, but we had so much information to look at that I hope you guys found interesting, and I hope we can get some good discussions going on in the comments because I think this is kind of a huge deal. But anyway, take it easy, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will be seeing you guys soon. So, bye-bye.